Felix here, and welcome to this no longer echoey live stream here pre-market. I want to walk you through probably the biggest earnings day of the year. Tesla, Meta, what that means for Nvidia, Microsoft, the ongoing DeepSeek panic and what to do about that, and also what I'm buying on a day like today, because I think it's a glorious, glorious opportunity. I also asked you in the chat whether you ever procrastinate, as in put things off. You realize you need to make a change, but you don't. And 81% of you answered yes, which is rather honest of you. Now, procrastination does what? It puts off change, right? It prevents change. It holds us back. And change it's never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation or drive or reasons, right? But change is not a matter of ability. Anybody can change. Anybody can become a better investor. It's just a question of whether you want to or not. What's your motivation? What's your drive? What are your reasons for it? And let me ask you this. How many of you have an area in your life where you know what you need to do, but you are not doing it? It's just like, nah. Can you relate to that? Can anybody relate to that? Put a 1 in the chat if you are procrastinating or putting something off that you know you want to do. It might be going to the gym, it might be eating healthier, it might be, looking after your investment better, maybe it's learning something, like anything like that. Okay, KK, you're honest. I appreciate you for that. Well, the only reason you're not doing it, so Kiwi, Dave, clap my dog, all you guys here who are not doing something, most of us, right? Most of us are doing that. The only reason you're not doing it, even though you know you kind of have to do it or want to do it, is you don't have a strong enough reason. So, because whatever you're doing that's not good right now, it does still meet some of your needs, right? That's why people watch TV, is why people scroll on Instagram, and people smoke and drink and all these things. It gives them some level of satisfaction, because you can meet your requirements in a negative way, but if you actually really want to grow, if you really want to contribute good, if you really want to get better, then you kind of need to create that need. You need to have a need. You need to have a reason, something that gets you out of bed this morning that makes it into what? A must. So then the goal becomes a must. So what's your goal for today? Whatever it is you want to change, whatever it is you want to improve, make it a must and find out a reason for why you really want to do that. Ideally, something outside of you, right? If you say, oh, I must buy a Lamborghini, that honestly isn't all that strong a motivation. But if you say, I must do this to provide for my child, that's very powerful. So I'd like for you to do that today. Like, make a little note, just like write it down. What's your reason? Why do you want to get better? Maybe you want to become a better investor. Who wants to become a better investor? Hands up. Like, put a 1 in the chat to make some money. I'm not also a psychologist. It's all mindset. Like trading, investing, it's 90% mindset. I always say that. Everything in life pretty much is mindset. But I know you're not here for a mindset lecture, but I think it's so important that I kind of want to get it in sometimes, because I see so many people who are like, yeah, I'd like to get better, but I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. Oh, I've got to do this first. It's too hard. It takes too much time. It takes too much money. All that kind of stuff. I'm actually not drinking GAC juice today, for those of you who followed me for a while. Today, we're on the pomegranate juice. You see that? Which is, I was in Dubai for 2 weeks, right? And that was one of the things I was drinking. Actually, no, I was drinking in Malaysia first. And it's just kind of really addictive. So I found some pomegranate juice here, and I love it. Who says works gets in the way? Yeah, you see, there's something, you're letting it get in the way. So if you're honest with yourself, right? You're not putting it that much of a priority on the thing you want to do. Maybe it's getting better at investing because you haven't got a really hardcore motivation for why you want to do it. And, often, like for me, it was, I didn't exercise. I never moved. And then one day I fell over and I couldn't walk, and I couldn't walk for like 6 months. And I was in horrible pain. That became my motivation. I'm not saying that's a good thing to do, by the way, to wait for that long. But, that's something in my mind now. I'm like, if I don't exercise, I might get back to that stage. So I exercise all the time, right? Slurp away. Okay, so is the slurping back? I hope so. I hope so. It's high in sugar, is it? Is it? You're right, 14 grams. Doesn't taste like it. Bloody sour. 100% organic pomegranate juice, not from concentrate. But yes, it's a little high in sugar, but somehow I like it. Anyway, let's move on to our favorite stocks here and making some money. The 14-hour shift, Sue. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. That'll get you tired enough to lose focus. I get that. When you're tired, it's easiest to like slide into the bad habits, and it's a little tougher to do that. So you soon need a goal and a reason that is probably twice as big as anybody else, because you will be tired, and therefore you have to be like, well, I'm really tired. I just want to sit here. I want to have a drink. I want to sit on the sofa. I want to sleep. So you need an even bigger dream. You need an even bigger goal. But I can't give you that. You need to find that one for yourself. Is it added sugar? No, nothing added. Nothing added at all. This is literally just pure juice from pure pomegranates. Nothing added. So no, I wouldn't buy it if there's sugar in it separately anyway. So, right. Tesla earnings out. I've made an entire Tesla video which is coming out straight after this one. So if you are really interested in Tesla, watch that. I'll break down the whole thing for you. I'll walk you through my trades and everything else. But this is probably the number one quote from the earnings call. And Elon said, I see a path to Tesla being the most valuable company in the world. There's a path to Tesla being worth more than the next top 5 companies combined. Next top 5 companies at present are worth $15 trillion, which would take us to 12x. 12x. At the moment, Tesla is a $1.22 billion company, approximately. So you multiply that by 12, you get to 15 trillion. Now, we do know Elon thinks big and all of that, so maybe it's a little bit ambitious, but let's say cut it in half. Let's just say it's a $7 trillion stock. I'm still quite happy with my 6x. So pretty extraordinary stuff. But if you want to get the full detail on that, like, go back to the channel and you get the pop-up for the proper video there later. Pomegranate juice is prohibitively expensive, at least in my area. It isn't cheap, I grant you that. So make more money and then it becomes relatively inexpensive. All expenses are relative. I really like start to figure that out. It's all relative. Like every single thing I used to think was expensive, it becomes relative. And that's the beauty of making your money work for you. So you know what to do. Zook's little play thing here, Meta, pretty impressive numbers. This is earnings per share. Growth, right? This is the growth. So they're growing faster last quarter than in any quarter since 2019. He's really pulled it out of the bag, that one. Amazing data from Meta. So very happy to see those numbers out there. And this one here is also good for the market. They're saying they're going to spend 114 to 119 billion in 2025. Which means a massive amount of spend on what? On what? Does anybody know? On GPUs, on NVIDIA, basically. So this should be very good for NVIDIA. Now, is the stock lapping it up? Let me show you the, where's the heat map? Here it is. This was yesterday. NVIDIA down 4%, Tesla down 2%, and pre-market. Tesla up 4%, NVIDIA flat. At least flat, right? Microsoft down 5%. I can walk you through that in a second as well. But looks pretty good so far from a Meta point of view. Fox Gaming, my friend, you made 14% investment on your investment this month. Learned everything from the masterclass. Brilliant, Fox Gaming. Do we encourage people to watch the masterclass in that case, Fox? Maybe we should do that, right? Where's the link? Where's the link? There it is. FelixFriends.org/get free. If you want to watch the masterclass that Fox watched, that he says made him 14% this month, watch that. And then let's see what the Microsoft CEO said. Satya, I like the guy. He's basically saying that what we're seeing with the whole DeepSeek thing, don't worry about it. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying, if you can run models without massive cloud infrastructure, and he said you can now run a model that required pretty massive cloud infrastructure on your PC, right? So the models are getting more efficient. He's saying for a hyperscaler like us, And a PPC platform provider like us, this is all good news as far as I'm concerned. He's just saying people will use AI more. It'll be omnipresent. The cheaper it gets, the more people will use it, and it'll just scale. So he's not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. And I can see that from his point of view. He's a software company. And what was I telling you about a year ago about software versus hardware? I said software is next. We've done a lot of the hardware growth. The software guys will continue to grow for a long time. And Randall, why are they hit? Are they getting hit? Well, Microsoft is getting hit here. We got the numbers somewhere? Okay, I don't have it written down here, but I can tell you. Their Azure cloud data, I think I have a chart for it somewhere. Their Azure, which is their cloud computing, grew a little bit less than expected. That's what it is. Just grew a little bit less than expected. It still grew 31%, which is pretty extraordinary, I think, but the market wanted a little bit more. That's really it. That's really all there is to it. We saw that also last quarter, and last quarter the explanation was they didn't have enough GPUs. So they didn't have capacity, so they had max capacity, and the market somehow thought that was bad news. I would just argue that Microsoft is a tremendous business. You always get this, right? And this comes back to mindset. There is always a reason to sell. This isn't going back to like beginning of time. This is going back just to 2009. And look at all the things. Cyprus, Ebola, I mean, earnings recession, Charlottesville, the Delta variant, Russia invades, Omicron, Israel war, the N2QE, all sorts of stuff, Silicon Valley Bank, the yen carry trade. It's a gazillion reasons you can say, let's jump off a bridge. And right now, the latest reason is DeepSeek. Well, the stock market continues to go up, right? This was COVID, by the way. They're all bad reasons. So stay invested. That's what I always say. Stay invested, but you can shift things around and make it more efficient. And if you do that, I think you could potentially make a heck of a lot more. I mean, Fox, what did you say you made? 14% or something like that? In a month, right? That's what the market usually does in a year. So you can do better than the market, in my humble opinion, if you know what to do. How do you do that? Well, if you'd like to do that, then come and either watch the masterclass down below or just hop on a call with us, felixfriends.org/freedom, and get your freedom call. It's a completely free call. You get to ask us a million questions about how we coach people. How do we coach people? One-on-one usually. So we hop on one-on-one calls with you, my mentors and you, on Zoom calls. We run group calls as well, weekly live trading calls where you can see what we're doing. And you get to see people who've done this for decades inside investment banks and hedge funds and pension funds and managed very, very large portfolios, and see what they do and learn my rules, the system, the structure that I apply every single day, or at least every single week. I'm a bit lazy. I don't do it every day. And as I say, it's a completely free call, zero pressure. You just have a chat with us, have a nice conversation, get a lot more clarity, and maybe we'll help you find your reason. Sue, maybe we'll help you find your reason. If we can, I'll be very happy to do that. You also coach about European style options. Yeah, they're not that different. It's just a few variations, but otherwise the theme is very much the same. Lippy, you sold your Tesla position so you can face your half German grandkids. You have to explain that to me. I don't follow. The calls are great, says Blue Snowmanak. And yeah, I mean, I think it's the only way to learn. Honestly, it's just like hop on calls with people who've done it for a long time. Oh, here's the Microsoft data. I knew I had it somewhere. So in terms of good stuff, I mean, they beat on revenue, they beat on margins, they beat on operating margin, earnings per share. Really, I think the fly in the ointment for people was the cloud computing here. But look, prior year, they brought in 21 billion. Now they bought 25 billion. It's still pretty good growth. So we're short like 300 million, a little bit less, from consensus estimates on cloud computing. It's like, does that really matter? Does that really matter? 1.1% off? I just don't think that really matters, to be honest with you. So I think they're doing a very good job over there. That's my feeling. Bill Gates makes my skin crawl, but Microsoft's a brilliant company. And I thought this was a really nice chart. Just all the things that they've done, all the things that they've acquired, all the things they've achieved. And Satya became COO here. You know, LinkedIn, Microsoft Teams, GitHub, OpenAI, Windows. They've done a lot of stuff, and the market cap just continues to go up and up and up as they just make these really, really smart acquisitions. And you know, they've come a long way, come a very, very, very long way. The Activision merger. There's a lot of stuff that they've pulled off, which is extraordinary. For a business to dominate for this long is really, really extraordinary. I mean, we're talking now, what, 40 years? 40 years, right? It went from 197 revenue to 244 billion. That's really something. So I think that's an amazing and impressive stock. Now, a bit more Tesla-Rati news to cheer you up. Why you book that call? Who's booking a call with us to learn more about mentoring and learn more about making that change that you are procrastinating about? Let me know in the chat. Tesla, Elon said, we're going to get unsupervised FSD, unsupervised, which means you are officially allowed to be asleep at the wheel or drunk as a skunk. And it'll come before June or by June. So it's sometime between now and June, which is pretty good. As to Google's Waymo, he's saying they're so far behind in real-world AI, he needs a telescope to see them. And even Waymo is saying they'll be in like 8 to 10 states by next year. So Tesla is going to go full self-driving. That'll change literally everything. If you want to know the full story on that, watch the video that's coming out after this. You ever consider turning call options into shares, says Charlie? Very rarely, to be honest with you. I'm in it for the profit. I'm not in it for shares, usually. If I wanted shares, I probably would have bought the shares to start with. MSP, you got a call book for Monday? Brilliant. Joel, what's the advantage of Trade Vision over Trading View? Interesting question. We make a little chat for that or something, shouldn't we? The goal is, and we literally just had a call about how to, a lot of improvements coming. My goal is here not to give you every indicator under the sun and confuse you with 1,000 bits of information, but just to give you the stuff that actually matters, the stuff that's actually useful. Like support resistance here, for example, you don't get that in TradingView because they don't know how to do it. Actually, nobody really knows how to do that. I think that's super, super useful. Like our breakout indicator, I think is insanely useful. This is yesterday's. We put on a couple of those trades, like RCL, for example, a couple of others. I'm finding that insane. It saves me so much time. It's unbelievable. These are the breakouts from yesterday. Starbucks being one. Although Kramer said, whatever you do today, buy Starbucks. So that might be the death knell for Starbucks. But yeah, I just want to make it a place where you get all the information that's actually useful. I want to make it a place where you can see your trades, and not just the good ones, but also the ones that are limping. And you can see why and how, and you can analyze them, past and present, and snoop onto dark pool data and everything else, and just have everything you ever wanted to know about your portfolio and your trades in one place. Help you find them, help you monitor them, help you make better decisions, and help you learn from things that maybe weren't going so well. That's really the goal with it, just to make it just to level the playing field, really. Like just give you the same quality data access that Wall Street has access to. That's really ultimately what it's all about. So if you want to get a trial for that, essentially there's a free trial, so just test it out. Go to Felix Trade Vision, play around with it, and if you don't like it, you just cancel it. It's very, very simple. Okay, I'll just set this the Earth flat. Fibber Sigma in bold stability. Why do you think the world is flat? I doesn't look flat to me. But you know, if you believe the world is flat, well, who am I to argue with you? Jamesy, seriously, you used to make $500 as an Uber driver. After taking our money management class, you're now making $5,000 a week. Oh my God, that's amazing, my friend. That makes me very, very happy. Seriously, that's incredible. Congratulations to you. TV has way more info for options fans. Yeah, that's of course also true for options. It gives you a lot more data, and time sliders coming shortly. There are a lot of good stuff coming up. Am I going to shave today? Is it that obvious? Yeah, I kind of looked in the mirror this afternoon. I looked a little stubbly. I did actually shave today. I think it was the I played tennis today and then went on a hike with Winston, which was rather glorious. I posted a photo on Twitter. Thank you for adding the options leg feature, says President Jabuti. Absolute pleasure. In Trade Vision, yeah, it's a very cool feature. If you do options, you can now go nuts. You can also have multiple legs now, so you can do funky stuff if you wish. We're bringing in a time slider that's coming next, and a bunch of other stuff. Watch list is also coming on there. And somebody requested yesterday, literally on this live call, they said, can we sort tickers by alphabetical order in the screener? 24 hours later, it's done. So we listen to you. That's, I think, also really, really key, that we built this for you, with you. So let us know what works and what doesn't. The mountain climbing, says Paul. Yes, a little bit of that. Oh my God, it makes your hair grow faster. Does it, Corey? Interesting. Maybe it's where the stubble comes from. Did you play tennis when you come to Colombia? I look forward to that, Pilar. Why is Tesla showing 4% up but minus 2% down? It's probably because the market's closed and your broker doesn't take into account pre-market rates, pre-market moves. So we're not. Have a look at Tesla. Sliders, woohoo. Yeah, they're coming up. I actually took a screenshot of it earlier, but I closed it by accident. So we'll put a slider down here so you'll be able to look at like how the trade's performing day by day. That'd be really, really cool. That'd be very, very useful. You can also already add commissions now, which is also good, but a lot more stuff coming up. So Tesla here, trading at 406. Nice gap up from yesterday. That's really good to see. We just want to see big volume on that today, and I think to the moon we go. My decision on what to do with that will depend on what volatility does here in the next hour or so. If it stays high, I'll sell some options. If it goes low, I'll start buying some options. David says, I tried Trade Vision. It says less than 3/4 of the information you show. David, that makes no sense because I use the same public version that you use. Let me know what feature you couldn't see, and I'll be super happy to help you out. Your broker is 212. You can import your trades from 212, I believe. Hang on. Trades, import. Yeah, trading 212. So you can actually import it. So that's what I do. I import them from Thinkorswim. Automation is also coming up for that to be done automatically. But you can import your trades. You can see your open trades. You can see your closed trades. And then you'll be able to see, exactly what they did, where you set them up, and so on. And each individual trade, you can see exactly where you did them. And we're also thinking about how we're going to put all of that on the actual stock chart. So the goal is to kind of put all the information in one place, and that's coming up. What do you think about MSTR? Like I like the business. I do. The man is basically an options trader geek, like one of the geekiest options trader geeks I've ever come across. So I like him. I thought the thing was a load of nonsense, and then I watched an interview with him for about an hour, and I was like, wow, that guy knows more about derivatives than almost anybody ever met. So I like it. It's trending sideways. It's not really going anywhere, but I think sooner or later Bitcoin will do its thing, and MSTR is going to go with it. Your broker is eToro. Hang on. No, we haven't done that one yet. Coming up. You can also do a manual, like a. Can you do that yet? No, we're working on a manual import as well. It's coming up. At the moment, it's Interactive Brokers, Schwab, Thinkorswim, Fidelity, Robinhood, Tasty, Webull, Trading 212. We're working on all the other brokers as well. They will be added in a time. The phone version, we're also very much working on that. Merits, appreciate that. I still have a Rocket Lab position. I'm not sure. It's in my other broker. I don't know if that got knocked out or not. I can't remember. Guinea pigs, you want a more kind of complex screener. we're also thinking about how we make that. It's always a question of like features and usability, right? You kind of got to weigh it off. So that's important. Sales a genius until he's not. Yeah, I wouldn't put all my money on it. I'm not saying that. Pre-market, Tesla up 4.6% on actually pretty rubbish earnings, but a really good story. And that's Elon's power, right? That's Elon's power to tell a story, and we've seen what he's delivered on so many things, so we actually believe him now. Meta is up 2.7%, impressive numbers there. Microsoft, I thought impressive numbers, but cloud business down, not down, but up 31%. So, a bit bonkers, really. Why is Reddit so much in the news? Probably PR by Reddit, I would imagine. That's probably what it is. How about making Trade Vision a brokerage? We're talking to all the brokers to integrate with them, so you could eventually send orders to them. We don't really want to be a broker. It's a huge amount of red tape involved in that. I looked into it. I don't think it's really the real like value add. I think the value add is just to be the platform that connects all your brokers. I think that's more the value add where we want to be. So let's look at some of our favorite stocks here. NVDA not doing all that much despite Zuckerberg saying he's going to bail it out. Not literally, but just by spending lots of money. We're trading below yesterday's low. The only saving grace there is that yesterday's low was a little bit higher than the previous days. And also volume was pretty low on that sell-off there. So maybe we're bottoming out. SoFi. SoFi is, I think it's looking pretty good, actually. It's just sort of like consolidating here. Up a little bit, not a lot, but that's kind of all we need. Volumes come down, which is also okay. So we're kind of like going a little bit sideways. I think Jerome Powell yesterday ruddered back a little bit on what was perceived to be a hawkish remark. He's sort of taken that back. So I think that looks pretty good. So I'm very bullish on SoFi. I thought the earnings were tremendous, but the market didn't. But we've done that before. The market has underestimated SoFi before here on earnings in August, and then in a similar sort of situation where everyone was a bit spooked about something random, and then we rallied up very, very nicely from there. So I'm still very bullish on that. Trade Republic. Haven't we done that one yet? Or maybe I saw it on the list. No, not yet. Coming up, though, I believe it's coming up. Well, some of the big British ones we also want to do. Ding, ding, ding. Let's make some money. Talented dropped a new video with Hyundai. Yeah, I saw that on shipbuilding, right? Not really a new story, but yeah, definitely positive PR there. SoFi up 1.3% as the market's opening here. Palantir is up 0.2%. Neither here nor there. The big story of the day really is Tesla and Meta. Tesla up 4.44% right now, which looks pretty good there. Very, very nice gap up. Let's see how volume looks, but that looks pretty impressive. I'm going to see what happens to volatility to decide my move on that one. Meta also looking very good, 2.8% up. The market's swallowing the massive capital expenditure being threatened, which should be good for Nvidia. Really nice gap up here as well, close to $700 right now, $697. The resistance sits at $700. That's where the market maker starts selling. And then Microsoft, which is an interesting one because numbers were actually pretty good. It's down 6%, which makes, to me, not a lot of sense. And it puts us back to like the lower end of this range, right? That you see the lows here, that red line connects it. So is that an opportunity? Maybe it's an opportunity if you want to, what could we do? Full put spread or just short some puts or something. We go a month out. What do we get? 2%. Okay, that doesn't really make the cat fat. Have to go out a little bit longer, probably. 3%. Yeah, okay, that's still not really worth it. So I don't only say 3%. Hang on. Credit loss, max loss. Oh, that's on the max loss. Yeah. On a margin account, that could turn out to be about 12, 13% if you use margin. It could be something to do, or yeah, I'm not saying you should, but there's ways to do that. Tesla or Palantir. Look, you've got to come to your own conclusion on that. I think for me today, it looks more like a Tesla day. I think we're going to look for some opportunities there. I think the vision, the robots, this FSD, autonomous FSD, look pretty appealing to me. So to me, that's kind of the growth story here. But we're bouncing off the 50-day moving average line here, which is typically quite a good thing to do with a gap up. So I think this looks very bullish. But obviously, you've got to come up to your own conclusion. ECB rate cuts, Christy. True. Europe, the apparatchiks in Europe cut interest rates, which means the global easing cycle is back, right? So money will be more available and all of that. IBM above resistance. Okay, let's have a look at that. I haven't seen. When were the earnings? Yesterday? 9.9% up. Whoa. Wow, that's like a rocket's gone off there. That's amazing. They beat 3%. Obviously, there must have been something in the guidance that was pretty extraordinary there. So interesting. Yeah, very interesting. That above the resistance at 250. Yeah, it looks very, very promising. Somebody knew yesterday, right? We got the trading volume yesterday there, and we went up yesterday quite nicely too. So always is that. How do you spot false breakouts, says Guinea Pigs? Yeah, actually, we're talking about that today. And you can't teach all of trading in like one indicator. An indicator will help you not have to look through 2,000 or 3,000 stocks. So you're talking about trade vision here still. So the breakout indicator here, it narrows it down for me to now look at 6 or 7 stocks. And it's a little bit about rules. It's a bit about understanding what the charts look like. It's a bit about experience. I think experience can be taught. I think that's really the key thing. So I would advocate getting yourself a coach. It doesn't have to be us, but get yourself a coach who's done this institutionally, somebody who's traded for banks or hedge funds because they actually know what they're talking about. I think that's really the solution. There isn't really like a super shortcut. I mean, give it a couple of weeks of learning and practicing and getting one-on-one feedback and so on, and you become much, much better at spotting the things that look okay but are not really that great. For me, it's about quality, and that's really how I filter it down. Do you have a minimum trading volume criteria, says Dave? What do you mean? You mean in terms of like how much money you trade with, sort of type thing? I mean, I think it starts to make sense if you have like $10,000 plus sort of type thing. That's kind of where it starts to make sense. Because if your trades are smaller than say $1,000, even if they go up 30%, then you're only making a couple of $100, which isn't really like massive. So that's generally what I would look at, about 10K up. AMD is edging up. I think a lot further to go for sure. Somebody wants to look at Spotify. Fox, my friend, very happy. Spot. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? But when was the moment to buy it? This was it. If you watched the masterclass, anyone watched the masterclass? Who's watched the masterclass? That was the breakout. Can you see that? You can see that, can't you? And if you want to watch that, well, I think Fox put a chat link in there earlier, but you can also just have a chat with us and we'll explain it to you. But yeah, so it's just, yeah, it's a nice bounce off. But what worries me? Always something that worries me. Volume is declining as the stock's going up. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. That sort of tends to indicate we might slow down here. Tesla's going down, is it? Look. So the earnings numbers weren't good, right? Like everything kind of pretty average, but Elon's story pretty exciting. FSD by June, robots coming out this year, next year at 10K a month. That's sort of the goal, and massive valuations, projections, and so on there. But yeah, coming down a little bit, still up. It's up 3.6%, so I wouldn't exactly call this a crash, but it still looks pretty decent. Guinea pigs, how many times you watch the masterclass? It's worth the time. Brilliant, my friend. I'm glad you're getting some value out of that, which is, of course, my intention. Now, for the 1,500 here who still procrastinate, you know what I said at the top of this video? I said, anybody can learn pretty much anything, certainly investing. But to make that change, to make that push that you actually go and learn and do something about it. Well, for that, you need one simple thing. You need one simple thing, which is what? You need a reason, you need a driver, you need a motivation. And unless you have that, unless you actually literally write that down, it's not about ability. Often people think that, oh, I'm not that good at this. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's just like whether you actually want it. And if you want it strongly enough, you'll do it. And you become an amazing investor. You know how easy it is to become one of the top 1% of investors? Super easy. Put in 15 minutes a day. And by the end of the year, you'll be better than 99% of people. It's literally that simple. It's just a question of effort. And most people don't put in the effort, right? Literally anything you want to learn, piano, sports, anything you want to learn, put in 15 minutes a day for a year, and you'll be better than 99% of the world. Very, very simple. So it's just a question of what's your motivation for doing that. So you got to crystallize that, and you got to write that out. You got to write that out. If you write it out every single day, which is what I do, then you get to a place where you want to do these things because it's exciting, because it moves you to your goals. And brilliant, I get to do this, and it's amazing, right? So check it out. Colin says, Felix is right. I'm going to dive in. This working thing has been done long enough with paltry results. Yeah, it's the thing. We fall into this routine, right? Of getting up, making coffee, driving to work, sitting in an office, coming home, being tired, eating a pizza, watching Netflix, going to bed, right? Is that life? I used to do that. I don't think it's life. I think it's just sort of like moving along with the flow. But what is it you actually want to do? You got to ask yourself that. And if you know what to do, then well, you can take action. You can take action and you can do what it is that you want to do. And I'm not saying everybody should become an investor or a trader, but for me, it's been the easiest way I've ever made money. And I've done a lot of things. I was a banker, I was a lawyer, I've done some businesses, and I employ a lot of people and all of that. And there are challenges with running businesses, there are challenges with starting up companies. It's pretty high risk. But managing money is actually fairly straightforward, provided you got the right guidance. What are your goals and motivations? I mean, mine are, they're manifold. There are certain things I want to do, and certain things I want to build, and certain things I want to buy and grow and stuff like that. Looking for a certain house, for example, at present. But they're not like I have to do them. They're just like I want to do them. I really get a kick out of making an impact. I get a kick out of seeing lovely messages like, what Fox was sharing here earlier, or a lot of you guys are saying, or James, you were saying. That's really nice. So for me, it's more like satisfaction. Like, what can I do to wake up and go to bed satisfied? I feel like I've made an impact. So there are a lot of plans that we got there. I enjoy building businesses. I enjoy building software. I mean, not developing it, but coming up with the ideas and seeing it come to fruition, and then people getting value out of it. Like, to me, that's kind of the feedback cycle. Like, I have an idea, I build it, which is fun, get some fun people on board to do it with, deliver it to people. They get a lot of value out of it, and they're like, this is amazing, this is so cool. And then, that's sort of the reward cycle. And yeah, there are plenty of things on my list that I want to do. I don't think I'll ever be bored. I don't think I'll ever stop doing stuff. I mean, I'm basically meant to be retired, but I can't just sit around. Like, what's the point? So I enjoy doing stuff. And yeah, there are a lot of things I want to do. There's certain places I want to travel to. And I haven't been yet. I haven't been to India yet, for example. I really want to do that. And we're going to do that. And then we extended some trips in the last couple of weeks, which has also been fun. So just, enjoy life, embrace it, do all the things I want to do and do them quickly and do them with fun and good spirits and with the people I love, and be happy and healthy and wake up and play tennis. And the morning we played tennis was amazing. Winston came. Winston joined us for 90 minutes. He tried to catch every single ball we hit. It was a very good exercise for him. He caught a few, nicked a few points off me. So just stuff like that. It's just like sometimes there's little things that make all the difference in the world, So I'm in the market to try and escape modern day slavery, Judge. You can, my friend. You really can. And if you build it, they'll come. I actually said that to people, to Jeff today, who's my co-developer on Trade Vision. And I said to him, look, if we build it well, people will come. And they are. I'd like more people to come because I think we'll make a bigger impact, and also we can build it faster because we'll have more budget to employ more developers to build out features faster. What we do with your subscription money, by the way, for Trade Vision. So yeah, it's all good. It's all fun. Welcome to the Busy Bees Club. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not that busy. I woke up at 8:30 this morning. I played tennis for an hour and a half. I went on a hike for 2 hours. Had lunch, had a nap, and then I started doing a bit of work. So it's not like mining for coal or something. What I do, it's very, very pleasurable. I think that's really the goal. Can I trade from Trade Vision, Simon? No, not yet. I mean, it's eventually in the pipeline. At the moment, we're working with brokers to pull data from brokers. We're still waiting for their approvals. They're bloody slow. So we can track your trades live. That'll be super useful. At the moment, you have to import it manually. And then obviously the next stage will be to send information in the other direction. Christian, alerts, yeah, that's also on the lead. We'll definitely be doing a lot of alerts for pretty much everything. So, sounds like you've got a pretty horrific job there. Honestly, look for a better way to make money than the way you are. Been up for 5 hours, you drive for an hour and a half a day, and you get a 20-minute lunch break. You're in the wrong job. So it's that simple. There is a better job for you. There is a better way for you to make money than to do that. That sounds horrific. New creation says Trade Vision can save you a lot of money to not make those simple mistakes. Appreciate that. And yeah, so get yourself a trial to Trade Vision. Links down below. FelixFriends.org/Trade Vision. Carlos, okay, you got a pretty nice setup to, yeah, walk the dog. Cockers are lovely. Play with them. Go to the gym. Do what I love. Yeah, that's sort of the goal. And I think everybody should have that as an outcome, right? Like, I mean, you got to make some money. I get that, but ultimately, it's about freedom, time freedom. I think that's the real luxury out there. So did you see that? Crash says work at Walmart. It's better than what you're doing. Claire, you commute 2 hours each way. Claire, get yourself a remote job. Who still goes to the office? Really? Like, none of the people I employ go to the office. We sold our office 2 years ago. I don't have one. Don't need one. Okay, we have a cubby hole somewhere for storing some stuff, but just don't need one. It's nonsense. So just go online in your lunch break and find yourself a remote job. That's what I would say. It's way, way more fun. How old are you? I'm 44. 44. Yeah. So there we are. Brilliant, my friends. I think it's going to be one of the best stock market years of for a very, very, very long time. And the market, let me show you the live market here. Every day looks different. I think Tesla looks like an opportunity. I think Microsoft potentially looks like an opportunity. We'll see about that. A lot of green here today, which is looking good. So I think we're all going to make a lot of money, which is really the goal. And I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, come and have a chat with my guys and learn about how we help people through one-on-one mentoring with my mentors. You get access to the guys I work with, and they are all retired investment bankers, market makers, hedge fund managers, super, super nice guys. We assume no knowledge. You can be a complete beginner. We've had people who've never had a brokerage account in their life, and we help them go from zero to hero. And it's insanely rewarding. It's insanely fun. We can do it in your own time, whenever it works for you, evening, morning, weekends, anywhere in the world. And make 2025 the year where you actually become an amazing investor. But your money works for you, so you don't have to work as hard as Sue. That's really what it's all about. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.